What is up, party people? Welcome back to another Restoration Druid video here. This one's just gonna be a quick little update on the 4-set bonus. So if you have the 4-set already, great. If you don't have it already, easy way to get it. All you gotta do is do some PvE vault stuff. It is very easy. Don't complain. I don't want to hear you whining. It just takes like an hour, 2 hours of your week to do this, and it's very high chance it's gonna happen. You can do 8 delves. You can just do tier 1 delves if you want. They take about 3 to 5 minutes depending on how quick you are with them. You can do up to 3 wings of LFR. Q is a DPS, AFK, I don't care. Just get it done. And then there is no time walking this current week, but if you do want to do heroics even or mythic zeros, just run a couple of them. Up to you. You can just do the one, but the chance at tier is pretty high. So what just going to happen is you're going to get a PvE piece of gear, and then you can take that PvE piece of gear, go over to the conquest vendor, spend conquest on the varnish, so either the 700 or 875 piece, and use that on the PvE piece. It gives it that 678 PvE eye level. All right, so that's how you get your 4-set. Otherwise, you're gonna have to wait 2 weeks to get the catalyst shard. So kind of up to you on there. So that is how you get the 4-set. But let me just, that's not what I wanted to make the video on. I want to make a video on interactions that I've learned with the 4-set. So I know people asking, how is it? It's definitely a really nice boost to Druid itself, just because of the hot maintenance. And when you do add that onto Forest Guardian, it feels real good. All right, so I want to just make clear a couple interactions. So if I read it off, Life Bloom has a 15 in PvP % chance to apply insurance to the target for 10 seconds when insurance is consumed or removed. So it could trigger by dropping below 40% health and popping, or just by running out of time. It's on, what is it, 10 seconds. It will leave a missing rejuve, regrowth, or wild growth heal over time for 15 seconds on the target. Okay, so a couple things to note on there. So first, obviously photosynthesis should be an auto lock-in now, because while your life bloom is on an ally, there's a chance for it to bloom while not having to wait for it to go to the end to bloom. Okay, because normally you have to wait for it to tick all the way down, and then when you refresh it at the last 4 seconds or you let it expire, it does bloom, and that's your chance. But if you have that, you get a lot more blooms throughout the game. Okay, that is number 1. Number 2 is the interaction between germination. Okay, I didn't just found this out today. That's why I wanted to make a video on it. And so I was playing with germination still, and you don't have to play germination anymore, because the way that it's going to work, I don't know if I'm gonna watch me not proc one now. Let's see. But the way it works is if you already have rejuve and regrowth on the target, the next option it's going to put on is germination, not wild growth, which is, I thought was a little bit interesting. I was like, oh wait, it's gonna put another. Let's see if I get lucky. I get on the first try. Oh. All right, so I'll refresh here. I'll keep talking while I'm doing this. So it's going to refresh rejuve, 2 rejuve, so you can get germination, wild growth, or regrowth, and then wild growth on there. So come on, it's gotta be this time. All right, proc there. So let me just make sure I keep my hots up here, and I'll show you guys. So wait for this to fall off. So either if you fall below 40% health or this time runs out, you'll see once it pops, I now have a germination on my target. So it's just as strong as the regular rejuve, and it's 15 seconds long, which is a full duration. So just a note, because of that, I've actually been experimenting playing some other stuff, whether it's budding leaves, you can play, thriving vegetation, reforestation if you want, Dream Scenarios, and some of my Restokin stuff I've been playing. But what if you do play germination, so if you do want to still play germination, you certainly can. And it will just apply that wild growth at a 15-second duration, okay? Which is more than a typical wild growth. A wild growth is typically only 7 seconds. But because of all this, I've actually been playing early spring on top of that, which is the instant cast wild growth, which is a really nice little addition to have on top of our healing throughput. The healing throughput feels really good currently. The music got really loud. Give me 1 second. So yeah, because of that, I felt like I did not need to play germination, which was a super great thing, because I hate taking forest flow. I feel like it's just a wasted talent point, and it allows some more diversity here. You could drop this, play reforestation, you can drop shapeshifter. I've been playing for mana, because I think this shapeshifter with mana and the throughput, so combining shapeshifter and early spring, because if you just press wild growth on cooldown, you're gonna obviously. So this kind of helps combat the mana cost for all this, and wild growth ends up being a very chunky amount, a big chunky part of your healing. So that's why I've been playing with that. So I wanted to make sure you guys know these interactions. And finally, I want to just make or talk about how I'm very confident that Wildstalker is the move now, no matter how you're playing, even if it's just for healing throughput. Just because from testing wise, it seems like the HPS output is just so much higher now, because of having all of these hots, the really high uptime, and then combining that with symbiotic blooms. So having high uptime on, you know, efflorescence, or sorry, wild growth, more uptime on wild growth gives you more blooms, and this is able to kind of snowball in that effect. And with higher uptime, you get more hots up, and then the symbiotic bloom with all of those hots up gets more snowballing healing. And I'm feeling the throughput is just a lot higher on Wildstalker now. I know most people in the ladder still play Keeper. I do occasionally play Keeper with some of the Resto stuff, but honestly, I'm kind of shifting more towards Wildstalker too, unless I'm playing for damage in like 2s, for example. But if I'm just playing 3s, even if it's the Resto style stuff that I've been playing, I'm actually preferring Wildstalker as well, just because of that. Being able to just throw these wild growths out, wild growths out there, throw F-flows out there, just keep spamming wraths for mana, and the throughput feels absolutely amazing. There has been little to next to none games. There's occasional ones with this priest, but 95% of my games, I feel like I do not lose because of lack of healing. It's usually something else, whether it's positioning, CC, my teammate, whatever it is, defensive cooldowns, stuff like that. So I'm feeling really good on the Wildstalker throughput, so I definitely recommend trying that out, no matter if you're playing cat form stuff. But it is actually also easier with the hot uptime of Wildstalker, especially in something like 2s or 3s. There's no reason to not be maiming. So I actually play maim even in my Resto build now. I've been shifting this, so I don't know if I actually played it on this guy, but this one was for, yeah, I was playing for damage here. But typically for when I would play healing wise, this is what it would look like. Come on, boom. So even for sake of healing, I was playing this with, you know, Wildstalker with all of the tree stuff, because I mean my damage is kind of irrelevant. Yeah, yes, you are missing out on what, 10% wrath damage, but the throughput feels really, really good on Wildstalker. So just want to throw that out there. Give it a shot. I'm loving all the diversity in builds that we're seeing. You look on the ladder, almost every druid's running something different. I think that's really cool. So I just want to share what I've learned with the 4 set. Hopefully you get your 4 set next week and don't have to wait 2 more weeks, because now you've watched this video. So do your delves. It'll be worth it. It only takes a little bit of your time. So if you guys have any other questions, leave a comment down below and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.